Hey, this is CFoulke. I'm here in my new shop and I am working on a new YouTube series. It's called Out of the Vault. I have at least 100 unlisted YouTube videos from, let's say, the last 7 years. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and watch them again with you, and I'll release these videos. So this first one was the first one on my YouTube channel that has something to do with making my own instrument. This one is titled Pan Number 1, and it was originally listed May 2nd, 2013. This is the first time that I'm going to watch this video probably since May 2nd, 2013, so let's watch it together. Here we go. This is my very first shop. All right, so this is, I remember this. I bought 2 barrels. The first one, it took me a week and I ruined it. The second barrel was this. I think I got my templates online and they ended up being, I think they ended up being smaller, or I printed them smaller by accident. And so how I thought the notes were going to be, they ended up being needed to be tuned way higher. So if you saw me kind of ascend there, it was not in the classic zigzag order. That was just making the adjustment from where I was tuning. All right, let's keep going. All right, so I'm totally ripping off Liron Man. That's like the melody from his famous Hung video. What else? I can see this is my old shop. It was a room in a warehouse. It had no windows. I had tucked myself in a corner, so it was just surrounded by white walls. It was rather depressing, but it kept me really focused. In the foreground, you can see, I see a 2-pound sledge. I remember I reshaped that one. Looks like there's a few handles to wood mallets that I made. I used to turn stuff on a lathe. And I think in the very foreground, it looks maybe like the handle of a wedge. On steel pans, you take a wedge and you wedge it up under the skirt to bump the notes up, to kind of bubble them up. All right, let's keep going. So I think some of the notes had fifths. I think as I got higher, I didn't have them right. I remember coming home from the day that I finally tuned this one, being over the moon excited. It was the first thing that I'd ever made 100% by hand. Dave Beery was very nice to me. He gave me an unfinished right double second. It was, let's say, 90% done, and I guess it had been in his shop for 6 years, and he said, sure, you can take it and see what you can do with it. So for a couple months, this is in May, I started in January-ish. So for a couple months, I just worked on that old right side double second, gave it a very slow, untimely death, but I learned a lot, enough to jump to my own barrels. Yeah, ruined the first one, and then this was the second one. So let's keep going. All right, that's great. So there's a couple things, like there's a microphone there. I was working off an old laptop that didn't have an internal mic, so I went and bought that thing at Radio Shack. It barely worked. I remember when I got a good microphone, it felt like that old microphone, like I was looking through a dirty window. Like the readings were so mushy and it was not very good. So that's it. That's Pan Number 1, the first thing I ever made. So that was, May 2nd, 2013, so almost 7 years ago. Yeah, so this is the first in the series. I'm going to go chronologically. So this is the oldest thing unlisted in my YouTube account. I will continue on to the next one, and we'll see what it is. That's it for now. See you next time.